Hey adventurers, welcome to the crew. I'm Silo Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. We've just arrived in Gilded Vale and entered the Black Hound Inn. So, this is, what is it called? The Black Hound? Yeah. Not too big an establishment, but pretty large actually for an inn. The floorboards are sticky with spills that no one's bothered to clean. Yeah, Aloth didn't actually have very good things to say about it, did he? You guys have anything to say? I assume this is the innkeep. Some kind of brown slop is congealing in these dishes. It smells burnt. Yeah, this isn't the finest inn in the
Well
world, is it?
met, friend.
Hello, and welcome to the... The innkeeper looks up. Oh, it's you. Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. But that's true. Maybe now that the actual cook is back, the food will improve. Consider yourself a favor to the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen. She laughs. So what would you like? So what sort of place is this? Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here, too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. It's gained experience. Tenfrith's the big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. Is he actually a good cook? I used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs, pining after him. Poor old girl. Oh, what a shame. Place ended up in my hands somehow. She laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Well, better to own an inn than not, you'd think. Please, sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have two available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. Well, I got your chef back. What's he doing? So you're a merchant, obviously. What do you have for sale? Yeah, how do you have nothing in the way of a meal and also the finest cook in the Deerwood? Oh boy. She's got cookies. No, just, what do I do? Right click to see that? Yeah. You just eat all these foods for minor buffs, basically. A Rowate dessert. Rivaled only by Adirans in their love of sweet things, they count many delicious desserts and rich treats among their famed recipes. One of the most revered by wealthy connoisseurs around the known world is the darkest Rowate chocolate cookie. It's become a courtesy gift among Rowate ambassadors, with many foreign dignitaries warmly receiving any Rowate delegation, simply in the hopes of receiving a batch of the revered treats. Yeah, okay, so her whole, I mean, as you would expect from a merchant, really. She just mostly sells food. And potions, to be fair, and camping supplies. 125 copper for one of those that I chugged earlier. Oh well. Rooms. Oh, I can recruit adventurers here. I mean, I assume that's like... What is that? Oh, yeah, it's just like highly generic temporary companions, I guess. I assume... There might be permadeath in this game, but I'm just going to reload if I ever get one of the major companions killed, so... Party management. It's just clicking through things. You can have up to 6, that's right, we knew that. It could take a while to get 6 companions. I mean, I found one. And that was the lot I saw on the map, so the other guy that was named on the map might also be a companion, but that's still only 2, so it would take a while to fill a whole party up. So that's party management. That's retrain. That's the store. That's the recruitment. That's rooms for the night, which you can rest without using camping supplies. Okay, so we can get bonuses if we use the fancy runs, which Laborer's Rest, +1 Perception, 1 Mechanics, or Deerwood's Pride, +2 Resolve, or we can sleep in the common room for free. Fantastic. I'll definitely sleep in the common room for free. Okay, most of these are pretty generic. I mean, I think I know what grain is, although what does it do? Just endurance. Cornerstone of a hearty meal and a hearty drink alike. True. Cheese. Perfect for luring rats and dinner guests alike. Milk. Refreshing and healthy. Beer. Few foreigners have much kind to say about the beer in the Deerwood. But beer is still locals prefer to indulge in narcotics. That's interesting. Beer is still a staple of every inn, home, and drunken feud. Ale, uncommon in the Deerwood, rich and fruity. Gives damage reduction. So does this, actually. That kind of makes sense in a screwed up kind of way. The lore on these random dishes is actually kind of interesting. Ixametal rice pan, 10 endurance, constitution, perception. Popular as a dinner entree in the Ixametal plains, the Ixametal rice pan has hundreds of regional and family variations. Varied as it may be, the dish is often seen as a great unifier in a culture heavily stratified by social hierarchy. Philosophers and wealthy politicians may use rare spices or finer cheeses, but its basic ingredients and ease of cooking have made it a traditional meal for all Ixametal people. At Ixametal wedding celebrations, it's common for the couple's close friends and family to spend the previous day cooking enough Ixametal rice pan to feed everyone at the celebration to come. Well, if it's like Asia or something, then yeah, everybody eats rice. So that checks out. Savory pie. Delicious. Golden crust. Meat filling. Meat pie. Fair enough. Endurance, might, perception. Pearlwood chicken. Endurance and constitution. Common among the settlers along the Pearl Coast and Defiance Bay, but its popularity has not spread far north or abroad. Locals claim that the dwarves of Talanir were responsible for inventing the dish. Given the odd assembly of ingredients, often a notable feature of dwarven cuisine, many are inclined to accept the claim at face value. There are rumors that the Duke of Ozia has become fond of pearlwood chicken, supposedly using grey breast chickens imported live all the way from Old Valia to suit his particular tastes. As the dish is not yet popular in the Valian republics, the citizens of Ozia are not sure if they should try to emulate the Duke's rumored style or vigorously deny it to foreigners. And Rauate sweet pie, endurance and dexterity. Popular in all the coastal communities of Rauate, sweet pie is often considered too rich even by their standards. It's saved for special occasions. One of the most notable and worthy occasions is when a Rauate Omoa makes his or her first long journey across the ocean. Upon returning, his friends and family members often share a sweet pie with the returning youngster enjoying the first piece. Okay. Do you want to buy... I forgot I had this. What does this do? No, it just gives plus 15 endurance twice per rest. Do you want to buy my random pieces of armor? You would be willing, actually. I don't see anywhere that they're capped either, so I could just sell them all my stuff, I think. Although, I don't know if there's any... I'll have to try to compare or something. Hide armor is worth 40 here. Just wondering if I would get a better rate at like a blacksmith or something, or if the game doesn't really take that into account. The inn now has a pile of random armors and stuff for no reason at all. Oh yes, I fixed that. The cook is back. I found the way to Gilded Vale somewhere around here. Or, oh, that's why it's grayed out. Yeah. Seek help for your condition is my one active quest. Well, let's wander around. Don't mind if I go into the back and talk to Tenfrith, do you? Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Okay, no, I'm not going to steal from their shelf of ale. Ah, it's you. Sorry. Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Do not think I'll let this go unrewarded. I've decided that you've earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you'll eat nothing else. We've gained the ability to make our own savory pie. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. I don't know why I'm giving him such a not deep voice. He's a dwarf, but it's just because he seemed a little freaked out earlier. They were selling pie here, weren't they? Yeah. Endurance, my perception. Well, if we can make our own, might be alright.
Welcome.
Didn't miss any. No, those dialogue options just to take me to the other parts of. Yeah. They just take me to the other parts of that screen. Alright, what do we get in here? Barrel. Not stealing to just take this milk and grain, apparently. Villagers. Server. Villagers, villagers, villagers. Those two have names. Here's a table. From which I can just take these without any problem, apparently. Development of a Crucible Knight, Part 2, Senior Ranks. I don't even know what a Crucible Knight is, but I'll read that soon. Scroll of Fan of Flames. Well, I can just cast it, but nonetheless, collecting scrolls not the worst idea. Who are you? Selena Vertivo and Strom Brightblade. Oh, crikey. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. I guess I will reach out for the soul. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Whoa. So we can read souls now due to our little bit of weird ancient ritual exposure? She's a doctor, okay. She had to leave her home for some reason. Condolences. I mean, I wonder if her husband or son or something died and she just took off. Parents, maybe even, yeah. Weird to be able to read that. What about you, Strom? Oh, I can reach out to his soul, too. Sure, why not? You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he's doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods. Blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Noosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There's sudden, explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses this last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. So a doctor and a hunter, and I can just read their souls over and over. I can't actually talk to them. Alright, let's go upstairs. Yes, this game was crowdfunded, as that loading screen explains. There's one room upstairs. It doesn't go over the common area. Or... there's bedrooms? I guess so, yeah. Yeah. Who are you? Okay, he's not enthusiastic about the whole place. It's not stealing to take this from the bookcase. Fantastic. Love books. I'll read all the books I pick up later, just not right at the moment I pick them up. Last one standing buys the next round. Surely if two of you are not standing, you should stop. Roaches scatter and flee under the crates. Isn't the very nicest place in terms of sanitation. What if that's the cheap bedroom and this is the expensive bedroom? Crammed behind the books is a drawing that shows Eothas and Lord Radric in a compromising position. Something tells me that's an executable offense. A bunch of lockpicks on this table. Wonder if this little pile of adventurers is staying there. I'll talk to them in a minute. Oh, the dog. These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. Oh, that must just be the way out. There was an upper deck or porch or something, wasn't there? Sure was. Okay. Then we'll go back inside. Why is there an upper porch? This seems like really elaborate just for having a second floor entrance. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. The dog's tail thumps happily against the floorboards. Should we get the dog as a pet? The dog whines softly again, head tilting. Well, you can come with me. Maybe we'll find him on the way. The dog's ears perk up. It trots over to you and barks happily. How smart is this damn dog? It could not possibly have understood what I just said. The dog is in my inventory. Should I replace my giant miniature space piglet with a dog? Sure. It's less weird. So what about you three seem to have stories? Deslok Najatep, Shane Shake Smolarian. That man's a thief or a con artist or something. Scylla Amin. I can just read all their souls. I can't talk to them. Interesting. Scylla Amin. You see a long, empty road cutting through two large crop fields. The air is silent, and the land seems too still for early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. She stops, sniffing at the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles, and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear. No clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the fields again. Not finding what she was looking for, she jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble. Apparently, by reading Souls, I just learn everyone's adventurer origin stories. Shane shakes Mulrian. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard, black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. Oh, okay. Way to make me feel real bad about thinking that nickname meant he was a con artist or something. Turns out he was just horrifically abused as a child. Whoops. At least I didn't say it to his face. Deslok Najitep. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In the corner, 3 smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in 3 parts of the room, and with a terse nod, they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all 3 slump to the ground in an agony that's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistle trailing behind him. Why are there so many incredibly dangerous people in this inn? I assume these are the 2 rooms you can rent.
I shall be discreet.
Oopsies. I keep pushing the sneak button when I want to do this. Okay, I think that's probably Lisa. We said we wouldn't mention time. Fair enough. I don't really have anything to say. Downstairs we go. Alright, so that's this inn, I think. We should probably sleep to rest, but I don't see an imminent need to pay for it. We'll just sleep on the floor.
Good day, stranger.
Just to regenerate my spells and all. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken, and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind, until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree, is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she's mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she's truly dead. I guess that's our plot hook. Find the dwarf woman from the dream. Sure. Save. Okay. The gallows tree is there, and that's where the woman will be. And also this Ader fellow. Aloth had something like that too, so I'm guessing that he's another recruitable companion. Don't know what this temple's about. It kind of looks like the temple is not there. That looks like the outline of a church that's currently in complete ruins. A lot to explore around here still, including smithery, which I don't really need weapons and armor per se, but... Oh, this dog's adorable. Oh yeah, that's definitely the outlined ruin of a temple. Although this way down. Okay. That probably is going to be a dungeon then, but I think we can wander through the top level safely enough. There's Ader. Yeah, there's not really anything up here except for this kid. What's up, kid? This is going to be Barath's house now? Who's Barath and why are they living in these ruins? Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over 3 stars. Okay, let's go to the tree, I guess. Okay, we have to go out around this way. Couldn't tell if there was a way through. That's a lot of corpses. Like, how many houses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, even if we assume the village goes on a little more beyond this, like, and the usual caveats about not actually having everything in a city on the map in an RPG, I still feel like there's like 20 or 30 corpses up here, which has got to be a lot out of a little farming village like this. Erkeet's still just standing next to the tree, too. Okay, so I assume the corpse that's glowing purple is probably the one to talk to. Thanks for watching, adventurers. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Have a nice day, adventurers. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.